So you've been sitting at your desk maybe for a few years and you're putting on weight and you think, I'm working all these hours. How am I going to lose the weight? Well, you can lose the weight while you're sitting at your desk. A lot of us have office jobs and we're sitting at the desk either at home or in the office, and there is hope and there is a way that you can lose weight. I'm telling you because I've done it myself. So, what I'm not talking about is drugs. Drugs is not something I don't think is sustainable unless you're going to take the drugs forever. I'm not talking about supplements, any sort of cocktail and combination of different supplements. There may be some value to those, but they're an expense, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm definitely not talking about those pitches that you see on Facebook for 30 minutes and they're talking about don't eat bananas, don't eat peanut butter, don't eat whatever, and they make you listen and they never get to the point because they're going to drive you to a website that's going to ask you for money. And along those lines, I'm definitely not talking about the YouTube scans where you see this buffed out guy that's saying, hey, you could eat all these heroes and pizzas and whatever you want, you're going to lose weight. And it's the same kind of thing where you're just going to listen and listen, and then they're going to ask for X amount of dollars, a couple $100 every month to try to lose weight. It's craziness. None of this is what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is something you already know the answer for, and it's not going to cost you anything. So, I'm just an IT guy. I've been sitting much more than I should for years, for decades. I'm at my desk, I'm in meetings, maybe I'm walking around a little bit, maybe I'm in a data center walking around, but I'm certainly not lifting heavy things often. And I'm not doing a lot of strenuous physical exercise. I'm an office guy. I'm working at my desk. And of late, I am on Excel all the time. So, what I did do over the years in my IT career is start to eat junk food. So I'd work late, I'd work weekends, and I'd be tired and I need extra energy to get something done, and I'd go for the ring dings, I'd go for the soda. Also, it seems like every manager out there wants to reward their team by having a pizza party, which I think is, I mean, it's a whole nother topic, which I think is crazy. People don't want pizza as a reward. But especially as you get older and you've got kids, you're pizzaed out. But there's always pizza there, and I would grab it. I my 20s and 30s, I would think free food, and I would grab it, no matter where it was, even if I wasn't invited to the pizza party or the lunch where they had leftovers. I'd go and grab half a sandwich after I had lunch. On top of that, I got married to an absolutely wonderful woman who's a great cook. Then we had kids, and I've got two beautiful daughters, and they would eat things like Cheez Its and Doritos, and anything left laying around, I would shove down my face as well. So I put 20 pounds, well, let's be honest, I put 25 pounds on um, after I got married. So I was getting older, and I packed on 25 more pounds. I worked a lot of hours. My free time I tried to spend with my family, so there wasn't a lot of time for me. So this is not my wife's solution or presentation, but I do want to tell you a little bit about my wife for a good reason. Now, not only is she a great cook and a wonderful woman, she's very educated. She's a registered dietitian. She has over 30 years of clinical experience. She's worked with renal patients and diabetics. She's an adjunct professor at Queens College. She has multiple certifications, tons of experience, and a scientific understanding of the diet. It's funny to watch her when somebody gives our kids diet advice, how her radar goes up and she goes into action. But when we were dating, so this before we got married, when we were dating, and ever since then, and she's never stopped saying this, she would say, it's how much you eat. You already know that. But she would say that to me. So after I packed on those 25 pounds and I went up in waist size, she would still say it's how much you eat. That's how you're going to control your weight. That's how you're going to regulate that. So what did I do? I continued to eat the crap that I was eating, and I went to the gym and I hit the elliptical, and sometimes I'd hit the weights. And you know what? Maybe There was some improvement, but I wasn't losing the weight. So this is what I learned, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. So I'll try to be quick on all this. No money. Pick a goal weight. So I was at 205. I wanted to be 180, maybe a little bit below it. That was my goal weight. You need to pick a daily calorie intake. Now there's ways of doing it. I'll talk about that. Then you start to weigh yourself every day at the same time. Now me weighing myself, and you may be like this, is right below me looking in the mirror in the morning. I don't like to do it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see how much hair I'm losing as I get older, and I don't want to see that number. But it's important to weigh yourself because you need to track it, and you need to do it at the same time. You're going to fluctuate no matter what. Your weight's going to fluctuate a little bit, but if you pick the same time, you could try to set a baseline, and that's a pretty important thing to do. You'll never know how successful you are unless if you're tracking it. And you need to track what you're eating. You really need to, every single thing that goes into your mouth, you need to track and monitor those calories. And I'll talk about how to do that. So you're going to record what you eat and monitor your weight progress. And that's it. That's all you're going to do. And I'll go into how I did it. No dollars, no crazy diets, no paying for programs or supplements. So a couple of caveats. This is definitely not medical advice. It's just a bottom line on what worked for me. And it should work for you. There are people who have special dietary needs, medical conditions. I could never give advice on that, and I wouldn't try. So follow your doctor's advice. Exercise is important for sure. And my doctor tells me that aerobic exercise with a combination of resistance, kind of weights is important. And I mix that in every week. I really try to, and that's important. But it's diet that's going to help you lose weight. So you're not going to lose your weight on the treadmill or the elliptical. You're going to lose it by controlling what you eat, what your diet is. The supplements, if you're really interested in supplements, ask your doctor, seek medical advice on that. There are some reasons to have different supplements. I'm not talking about that. Injectables and things like that and other medicines, it's your choice. Follow your doctor's advice for sure. The one thing I can say is if you're going to lose weight using any other method than diet, you need to think, is this a lifestyle change? Because if you stop injectables or if you stop the pills, how are you going to keep the weight off? If you change the way you eat, that's a lifestyle change, and you can maintain that. Now, it's not going to be perfect because things happen in life. Winter's different than summer. You're going to have parties and celebrations and holidays, and you want to enjoy life. So, but if you've changed your lifestyle, the way you look at food, you can manage that. So I'm a manager, and I'm a manager for many years. And one thing I know for a fact is show me how you measured, I'll show you how you perform. So we're going to look at the way we eat, and we're going to measure it, and we're going to measure the performance of how much weight you lose. So, how many calories should I target? It's always good to check with your doctor. I'm fortunate enough to be married to a dietitian. I use the Mayo Clinic's calorie calculator. I will put that in the comments. I'll put the link in the comments. There are other calculators out there that you can use, but that's what I used. So I was 6 feet tall, still am, and I was 205 pounds. So what I targeted was, by looking at the Mayo Clinic's calorie calculator, was I'm going to shoot for about 2,000 or under 2,000 calories a day. And my wife said, hey, you should be able to lose weight at 2,000 calories a day. So then I really kind of just, to myself, I thought, I'm going to try to be at about 1,800 or lower calories a day. And that was going to be my kind of aggressive stretch goal. Then you need to track what you eat. And there's many ways to do this. They're all estimates, by the way. I know that some of the programs have you weigh your food. And I'm not saying that's bad at all, but I even think that's an estimate. I think just be honest with yourself and track what you're eating. And that's the important thing. So I use this, I'll put this in the comments as well. I use this Calorie King. Now, this is an example that I have here of what they show for an apple, 93 calories. That's not necessarily accurate. It's probably an average of some sort. It's an estimate. Some apples are bigger, some apples are smaller. If you have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you make a normal one, it's going to be a certain amount of calories. If you slather on the peanut butter and jelly, obviously it's going to have more calories. So be honest with yourself on the estimate for the calories. This is what I did. As I said, I'm sitting at a desk. I live in Excel. You could use Excel, you can use Google. If you wanted to, you could use some pen and paper, but it's just if you use a spreadsheet, it'll do the calculations for you. You just need to enter it in. You can create it. And then you're just entering in what you're eating in the calorie count. Now, obviously, I'm looking at this, and I could see, if you look at that bottom line there, which says weight, I could see on 930 I had a typo. That must have been 189. And this is mid-journey for me. So I started at 205 pounds, and at this point I was at about 189, 190, it looks like. And I picked mid-journey for a good reason. Now, when I started, I was eating the Cheez-Its. I was eating the Doritos. And quickly, as I was entering in everything I ate, and I saw, wow, I'm putting on 300 calories. I'm using up 300 calories on my Cheez-Its. I quickly, within a week or two, stopped eating the Cheez-Its and Doritos because I wanted to feel full. I didn't want to starve myself. So I wanted to have calories, but I didn't want to be eating Cheez-Its to fill it up. I'd rather, in this case, for 9:30, I had barbecued chicken that night, and by that we have chicken cutlets, and I would barbecue them on the grill. So it's a little bit healthier than a fully fatty chicken leg, maybe. But that looking at what you're eating is going to help you carve it out. It's going to stop you from being in the office as you're walking by and seeing a pizza, leftover pizza, and saying, hey, I'm going to take that slice. Or me, if somebody would put donuts or cookies out at the coffee station, I would I would grab one or two of those for sure, and I would probably save it for 2 p.m. to get me through that slump. But I would stop that because I was entering in here. And if you look at the total calorie counts, this was interesting to me because this is mid-stride. And so my journey was probably 9 months to drop that 25 pounds. It was about 9 months, give or take. Now, in the middle of it, I was noticing I didn't need the 1800 calories. I wasn't trying to drive it down. I just live a busy life with a lot of meetings. Now, I'm not talking about busy as in I'm out running marathons. I'm talking about busy as I've got meetings, I've got family obligations, and maybe some stuff to do around the house. So if I wasn't grabbing those extra things to eat, my calories were dropping. And I was just paying attention to it. I remember going to a couple of parties and events, and people were stuffing their faces on the hors d'oeuvres and then the desserts because they were good, for sure. And I was just looking at it, and because I was following this, I was thinking, oh, I've got to enter it into the spreadsheet, and it's going to count against my calories. So I wouldn't do it. So it started to affect the way I was thinking about food and managing my diet. Now, it's completely okay, I think, if you've got holidays, if you've got a birthday party, to have that birthday cake. As a matter of fact, I think it's pretty important to have that piece of pumpkin pie. I think it's pretty important to have that chocolate cake. Or my birthday cake choice is Boston cream pie. I can't think of a worse cake to have for your health than a Boston cream pie, but I'm never going to turn it down for my birthday. So it'll go in, and I'll probably have, I don't know, 2,500 calories, 3,000 calories, or whatever for my birthday. But I'll come back to this and I'll manage it. So right now, where I'm at right now, this is 2001 I'm showing, but it's 2025 now, and I'm just coming out of winter. So I've had the holidays and been wearing all the sweaters and everything. I put on about 5 pounds over the winter, so I'm starting to do this again. I'm going back to this process. I need a little extra discipline. But what this is going to allow you to do, if you track this, if you track what you eat and the calories, and you're cognizant of your daily weight, you're cognizant of your daily calorie intake, it's going to create a lifestyle for you that you're going to be thinking about. Now, I probably went up 5 pounds, 4 pounds during the winter, but I didn't go up 10 pounds, which I could have easily have done. And the reason I didn't go up 10 pounds is before grabbing that second piece of pumpkin pie, or eating the French fries that came with the cheeseburger, I thought about the calories. So I don't do this from a maintenance standpoint every day. I don't fill it in. But while I'm trying to lose weight, I work the spreadsheet. So you're creating a process. You create the process, you work the process, and you do it from your desk. And that's how you're going to lose the weight. You're going to track your weight every day. It's going to go up and down a little bit, but you're going to see progress. You track what you eat, which is the most important thing. You track what you're consuming, and you get in the habit of being really aware of what you're consuming it. So by tracking that, you're going to really focus on what your diet is, and you're going to create the habit of thinking about what you're eating, what your diet is. You're going to cut out the crap. I guarantee you that. You're going to because of the process of tracking it, you're just going to stop. Eventually, you're going to stop eating the crap, because you're going to understand the meaningless eating is just that. It's meaningless. And you're going to lose weight. It's not easy, but all the other solutions that are out there are going to cost you money. At best, if it is easier than this, it's going to be something that's not going to be a lifestyle change. And there's a good chance it's not going to be easier than the process I just outlined. So now you're spending a lot of money, and it's really not any better than something that you can do. And for me, I'm always in Excel anyway. I'm doing VLOOKUPs and all that fun stuff in Excel, and I'm in budget hell. So using that is kind of easy while I'm sitting at the desk. Certainly controlling your diet and your calorie intake, you could do with any job. But I'm focused on us folks that are sitting at the desk because we have the tool that's readily available. Now, I'm not throwing shade on Weight Watchers. Matter of fact, Weight Watchers is the only program that is approved by the American Dietitian Association. I think they're still called ADA, but they are approved. And I'm not throwing shade on Noom. Noom is out there. You probably heard it. It's an app. It works. Matter of fact, what I'm talking about, I think, is part of Weight Watchers and Noom. So they would probably, I don't want to speak for them, they would probably endorse what I'm saying, other than they're going to want you to spend money on them. And there are other methods out there that are not scams that are going to help you lose weight. However, there's a lot of scams out there, and I think that there's a special place in hell for people that want to make money on somebody who's in dire need, especially dire need from a mental health, because weight definitely impacts your mental health, but your physical health. And if you're looking to just make money and scam somebody, you're not a very nice person. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully you use it. I know you'll lose weight and you'll be healthy and happy.